palm trees. Oh, I'm so excited to move to Florida just for the palm trees. You know, they make our communities, our yards beautiful. It is the signature Florida tree, of course, symbolizing tropical breezes, warm climates, but they can also be in poor health. And in fact, I am so happy to introduce Ptolemy, which is revolutionizing the palm tree healthcare. Jeff Kaulbars is managing partner at Ptolemy, and I am happy you are here. So many questions already. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Great. It's happy to be here.
So let's dive right in. I mean, there are so many things with palm trees. There are things like, I know when one looks bad, but we need to help the palm trees before they get to that point. That's where we call you. What are the ins and outs? And tell us about how you're able to help.
Well, we manage the healthcare for thousands of palm trees for communities like Babcock Ranch, developers like Taylor Morrison.
Yeah.
And I've been in the industry for 30 years in the landscape and tree industry. And it was just 4 years ago, I was having a conversation with my dad, and he's like a plant doctor, palm doctor kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I realized that there's a huge gap in the industry. And the huge gap comes to managing palms at scale. You can think about like managing a few palms in your yard, as difficult as it is.
Yes.
Imagine 5,000 trees, 5,000 palms. How are you going to do that? And I realized that no one's doing that. And so the past 4 years, my wife and I have been working on coming up with a palm health program to manage palm tree health at scale.
And of course, I'm thinking of all these communities, these HOAs. I live in an HOA right now, and sometimes when you see one kind of bad, it seems like we need to look at the bigger picture. In fact, we have an example that we're going to show you right now. Give us an idea of what we're looking at with this palm tree and why we need to take note if this is something we see amongst, you know, one of the palms in our neighborhood, or maybe while we're driving on the side of the road there.
Well, this is a Bismarck palm.
Yeah.
And this is an example of, you know, they lost around a dozen Bismarcks before they called us. And then we showed up and we realized that that is actually, we identified as palmetto weevil. And so we took a targeted response.
Okay.
You can also do prevention, which we offer. But with that targeted response, you can see the next picture.
Yeah, a little before and after. I like this when it comes to our tree health. Okay, that looks like a healthy tree. There's no way, is that the same one?
Same tree.
Really?
Just under a year later.
So we don't need to get discouraged when, you know, there are builders out there or people in our neighborhood, of course. You point out a tree that looks so bad, you don't need to be discouraged. You can bring the tree back, but how important is that proactive approach?
It's extremely important. One community actually learned it the hard way.
Really?
They lost over $300,000 in palms.
Oh my goodness. So is it one of those when you start to see one going bad, that's when you need to take note? I mean, does things like that spread, like the example we saw right there?
Yes, it spreads. Now, different diseases, there's a lot of threats with palms.
Yeah.
Palmetto weevil, you know, then the lethal bronzing is a big problem right now in Florida. And so that's why monitoring palms and being proactive. Most people are reactive. Oh, hey, my palm's dying.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's too late. Lethal bronzing, you can't cure it. So once your palm gets it, it's gonna die.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna show a special offer. And in the meantime, please share with us what are the services that you offer that people need to take note of and go ahead and go to your website for.
Okay, so we've developed a palm health program. There's no standard right now to decide, hey, what condition and what rating is your palm tree? And we've been working on that. And so what we recommend is doing a palm health assessment. We'll come and individually mark every palm in your community. And we will rate that palm's health, and then we'll also look to see if there's any threats to that palm tree.
Again, we have so much pride in our palms, so I love talking with you about this. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.